on Instagram as well.
I think about 30 seconds. I should be good.
Hello, Facebook.
This meeting is being live streamed. Yes, I got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
And it's saying a software update is required. Should I just say not now?
Not now.
Not now?
Yeah.
Okay. Da, 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 da.
Hey, Facebook, it's Bree and Melissa. We are back. It is Beyond the Steps Day. We are getting set up and we're going to get started in just a minute. Today, we are chatting about how we help our students recover and come back from COVID-19, which is pretty timely. We're going to talk holistically today with Joanne Seeger, who's a nutritionist and a wellness advocate. And we're going to talk with her about all the ways that we can help our students. And so just sit tight, share this conversation, drop any comments and questions you have about this topic in whatever platform you're on, and we'll get started here in just a minute. Okay, Melissa, we got everything. You can see everything live, okay?
Yes, we are good live. Hello, Facebook friends. I see you coming in the room. This is a timely conversation. I hope everybody can come in the room. We are talking about how we can help our students fully recover and even prevent or have some preventative measures against their infections of COVID-19 and even other illnesses, not necessarily just COVID-19. So talking from a holistic perspective today with Joanne Seeger, who has 35 years of experience in this stuff. So we have a professional in the house who can really help us with something that seems to be plaguing our studios and our spaces all the time now. I'm going live here on Instagram. You know, I can't do two things at the same time. Hello, Bree.
Well, hello, friend. Happy Friday.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I can't do two things either. I keep looking back and forth to the phone.
Oh, you'll see us looking back and forth too. Like,
okay,
Yeah,
good. We're
we
human.
look
We're
flat out
human, right?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to adjust this up here.
We are going to get started as soon as we possibly can. Instagram, thank you so much for being here with us. We are talking to Joanne Seeger today, nutritionist and wellness advocate, about how we can help our students fully recover and come back to full activity as soon as possible after having a COVID-19 diagnosis or even any diagnosis or illness. We all know that's really hard to come back after any type of illness. So Joanne has over 35 years of experience in this. We are very, very excited to have her with us. We're going to get started in just a second. Let some more friends join us here on Instagram and on Facebook. In the meantime, share this conversation, share it to your pages, share it to your groups, share it to your parent groups, share it to your teacher groups, share it to everyone. We want everybody to have this information because we know we are all struggling with this right now.
Yeah, and Joanne, I invited you. Can you accept? Is it letting you on?
Let's see. I don't see any
little
invitation.
Number by an arrow.
Can you see Apollo Performance live on Facebook or on Instagram? Can you see Apollo Performance and request to join us?
No, I don't see anything. I'm on my page, which is where you said to be, correct?
Yep. Yep. And we'll go to the home page where you see everybody.
Okay. Oh, and there you are.
Yeah. So then.
And there you are. I get lots of you guys everywhere. Okay.
So then you'll just accept that. And
it looks like she joined, I see, but it's not popping up here.
No.
Okay, so I see live.
You're watching us, but you need to go to your plus sign at the bottom and see if you can.
Plus, and should I just add with the add symbol?
Yep, it says unable to join. Are you on a phone or a tablet?
So send request.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There we go.
Let's try that. Now?
We're going to see.
Oh, and you accepted. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
There's Joanne. Yay. We did
it. Yeah, I can see how going back and forth would be a little.
Yeah. Yes. We don't mess around here on the steps. You know?
Love it. Well, yeah, dancers do tons of steps at once, right? Okay.
Right,
right.
exactly. That's
All
that's
right.
what we do. We do a lot all the time. So we are we it took us a while to get here, Joanne, but we did. All the viewers who come with us every week, they know. Joanne, you might want to turn the
Joanne,
volume on your
yeah,
phone.
turn the
That's,
volume down.
I did turn it all the way down. I'm
I
thinking
know it
maybe
somehow
the laptop.
it comes
Hello?
creeps back
Nope.
up on you sometimes.
Yeah, it's still happening. Okay.
There we go.
Let's
That's better.
see. Okay, better?
Yep,
I think so.
that's much better.
Okay, well
Let's
now
do
I'll
it.
turn
everyone.
this back up so I can hear you.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Well,
testing.
we're ready to get
testing.
started.
Okay.
We have our friends and everybody here on Facebook joining us, our friends joining us here on Instagram. Thank you so much. It is Friday, Beyond the Steps Day. It's a little after 2 p.m., but we have a packed conversation today and are extremely excited about talking to Joanne Seeger about how we can help our students recover and return to full activity after having been diagnosed with COVID-19. As much as, we are so tired of talking about COVID-19, we have been consumed with it for 2 full years now. When this started 2 years ago, we had no idea that we'd still be talking about COVID now. It's affected our profits at the studio level. It's affected our morale. It's affected our student attendance. It has affected so much. But we have to realize that we got to kind of go with the flow now. And we do have another outbreak with Omicron, another variants happening. And a lot of our students are being diagnosed. I know I've had over a dozen students diagnosed in the last few weeks with COVID-19,
Wow.
and they are now trying to recover. So with that being said, provide you with a holistic perspective, a natural wellness perspective on how we might be able to help our students recover. This is not medical advice. We are not trying to substitute your visits to your medical doctors or even give you cures or anything like that. This is simply support and ways that you can help your body or your students' bodies recover as best as possible. So please, we do not want you to substitute this for any type of visits to your medical professional. If you are in danger or in crisis, please make sure that you visit and see them as much as you can. Always consult your trusted medical professionals before you make any decisions. With that being said, like we always say, Bree and I will be going around, looking around all over the place, here and there. That's because we have Instagram over here, we have Facebook over here, we have Zoom, we have everything. We'll be fielding questions. I know you have to have questions. I have so many questions myself about this. So if
many
questions or comments, please, by all means, put them in the comment section here on Instagram or here on Facebook or on Zoom, and we will get those to Joanne as soon as we possibly can. All right, Bree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, let's take it away. So we have today Joanne Seeger. She's got over 35 years of experience in the natural health industry, starting at a small health food store in New York. Joanne realized her true passion in life was to help people discover their own potential for health and happiness. Joanne, welcome so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. What great energy. I love what you stand for and what you do. And
Thank
really
you.
tech savvy. I love it.
Oh Lord, that is not
Joanne.
a term, Joanne. That is not a term that we would use to describe ourselves. But you are so kind. Thank you. Everybody watching that watches us like fumble this every week is like, yeah, right.
But I love it because to me it makes everyone know that they're kind of like in a learning curve in life every day, right?
Truly, yes. Thank you. You are very kind. And hello to everybody out there. Happy Friday. Joanne, before we dive into all of our questions, because we do have a lot, you have such an extensive background in natural health. And like Melissa said, none of us here claim to be medical providers. We've all heard so much of that, but it can be frustrating because we want to find ways that we can maybe help this process naturally, maybe give it a boost to the recovery process. So tell us a little bit about first how you found your passion for this work and why you find it so rewarding from a holistic perspective.
Well, I actually love my story, my beginning story, because it happened at such a young age. I was about 11, 12, and I'm the youngest of 8 kids. And my mom decided right after my birth to go back to work full time, doing the evening shift at the hospital. So why I'm bringing that up is because I started being fed by my brothers and sisters, which had no culinary experience. So all of a sudden, so I tried to do that whole muting thing, and okay,
Yeah,
there we
mine,
go.
that always doesn't work for me either. I
So like
totally
I'm
feel you.
saying, not tech savvy at all.
That's okay.
So the brothers and sisters started doing all the mac and cheese and refined food, the simple food for me, and my health started declining rapidly. I started experiencing severe digestive disorders, distension, where I couldn't go to school because I would have to vomit after I ate even a bite of food. So it became really troublesome. And then my mom would bring me to all these doctors, specialists, and just, family physicians, and no one could come up with a solution. And to be quite honest, the antibiotics and other other issues they were giving me, problems. Oh my gosh, got tongue tied. All the antibiotics and drugs that they were giving me were actually hurting me. And I was getting worse. And I started developing cysts, like pustule cysts, and not even acne. They were huge. And as a young girl, I didn't want to go to school because now not only did my stomach hurt so bad, but then I was not looking so great. So my older sister actually met a nutritionist in New York. And she came home that day and told my mom, hey, I spoke about Joanne, and he thinks she should just avoid sugar, dairy, and flour. So after we kind of educated my mom on what those food groups were, we avoided them. And sincerely, 2 weeks later, I started feeling almost 100% better. Ended up graduating high school a year early, went to school in Boston, and have been obsessed ever since.
Thank you
That's
for
my
sharing that.
story.
And that's everybody has that beginning story. Before we keep going, we are losing you on Instagram, so we need you
Yes,
to rejoin us.
I think
There we
my husband's trying to get the phone to make sure it's not making any noise whatsoever.
Okay, got it. Because they can, somebody, if you're listening out there, can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear Joanne now? Joanne, give a little testing.
Okay, so let's go testing.
Can you all hear Joanne talking? Oh, no, we lost her. We lost you completely on Instagram.
Okay, I see you guys, but you're frozen.
Okay.
And if we could put it here, that way they could see me that way too.
Okay, Fit Mommy, try. Hi, thank you. We're gonna get her back.
No. Okay.
Okay, I just invited you again. And let's see if we can get you on now. Hi, Dance Dynamics Las Vegas. Nice to see you on Instagram. Hello to our friends on Facebook. We're just getting Joanne back with us on Instagram.
We have to invite it again. Invite them. Okay.
Chatting today about how we help our students recover from COVID-19. This is kind of a holistic perspective because we've already heard all the medical stuff. I know you all are inundated with information like we are, but we are really coming at this from more of a holistic, what else can we do to help this process along? Because the recovery process can frankly be pretty brutal for people that are coming back from it. So, I know for me, I have not experienced the COVID yet, but I feel like it is imminent because it's just running rampant in my kids' school and, all the things. So, Joanne,
well, ladies, definitely not my specialty. I don't see you anymore on Instagram or the plus sign to add you back.
You can't add us back. Let me see if I can add you. I just sent you an
there's
invite.
The plus. Yep, I just got it. Okay.
Okay, let's see if we can get you back. There you are.
Hello.
Okay.
You're back. Now make sure you're not on mute on your phone.
Yeah. So again, Joanne is not a doctor. She is a nutritionist. We are not doctors. We are lifelong dancers, and we're on this journey learning like all of you. No question is a silly question. Ask away. And we're coming at this from a place of wanting to help and wanting to help us all understand ways. If you're an educator out there, you have students that are coming back and they're going, how do I work around this? Especially right now when we're prepping for competition and convention season. If you're a parent, you want to know what you can do for your child or yourself to get you back on your feet quicker or get them back on their feet quicker. So this is a great time to ask those questions. What else can we do? Fit Mommy Try, thank you. We missed her whole backstory. Maybe she can post it later. We're going to share this whole conversation will be available on Paula's Facebook page. So you can see it there. And if you click the link in our link tree to register, you can get each episode emailed to you every week. But we will have the whole episode in its entirety available on Facebook right after this is over. So you can check back there as well. But okay, so let's get started, Melissa, because I know we have a lot of questions.
Yeah, we do. So like I said, when we started, we've all been consumed by this pandemic for 2 full years now. And it seems like every time we see some light at the end of the tunnel, it's another variant or another outbreak that sets us back. So as the pandemic lingers, have you found more people, Joanne, are turning to natural health solutions to fight and prevent the spread of COVID-19? Like, are more people like, listen, I need something else?
Yes. I find that most customers that never thought about their immune system is now completely focused on the immune system. Usually, you know, in 36 years, it was pain, energy, brain issues, but now everyone, no matter what else is going on in their life, is focused on the immune system, which I love. The awareness is thrilling to me because the immune system is everything. So I love that people are acknowledging it, trying to research it. And it is very confusing, like you mentioned at the beginning. There's so much information out there. So I try each and every day, especially on my radio show, to keep it really basic and common sense. And hopefully in this hour together, that's what I can really help your listeners understand, that it can be easy if you don't try to overwhelm yourself with too much information.
Right.
So quick question. So people, the thing about COVID that's really confusing is it doesn't seem to discriminate, right? Like people that you would consider very healthy, strong immune systems get it. People with compromised immune systems get it. There's really no rhyme or reason to who's getting it, how bad their case is. People that have compromised immune systems, I'm one of those people, right? Like I have flare-ups. And those flare-ups, my body gets a lot weaker. So how do you, does it matter? And it should be, is that the right place for people to be putting their energy? Because it doesn't matter when it comes to COVID, right? Like, so what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that is an excellent point. And I think that's when the risk factors came out in the very beginning, where they just posted on the news the 3 or 4 things. People got focused. Well, if I don't have those risk factors, I'm all set.
Right.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Now, 2 years later, we've learned it really doesn't matter. We all have an immune system that can be compromised, whether it be from something like grief, or you're just really taking a vacation and abusing your body. Whatever the reason is, anyone's immune system can be compromised, anyone. So that's the only thing in the beginning. I wish that they didn't make it like, here's a list of the people with the higher risk, and then everyone else was like, oh, I'm good.
Right.
So,
yeah, that was the big focus. I think that was kind of the idea of not having the widespread panic. Oh, you only really be focused if these are your issues, but we quickly learned that was not necessarily the case. So with that dependence on what American cultural Western medicine says, like that fact that, oh, this is law, this is what we're doing, is something that, you know, we're really enmeshed in here in the United States. And a lot of people are skeptical of the validity of natural medicine solutions. I know that there's probably a wealth of research out there about like the validity of that and how this really does help. So can you just share a few research facts that support the effectiveness of natural solutions in preventing, fighting, recovering from viral infections and things like that?
I will definitely do that. And I do want to point out that most of my mentors, I have noticed when they're discussing COVID on their podcast or their shows, they're very careful about their language, because I think that sometimes holistic or natural is perceived as the newcomer. Someone new on the block, where honestly, all the things that I speak about on a daily basis go back from almost like the beginning of most research, beginning of Ayurveda medicine, Chinese medicine, hundreds of years ago, homeopathic medicine, way before Western medicine ever took place. So I kind of look at it like, maybe we should look at you as the new guys.
Right.
So yes, there are a few really great studies that I talk about every day. But just so you know, if you dig deep enough, there's thousands of studies, but most of the time studies are funded with a reason in mind of a patent. So a lot of these things aren't discussed because there's no patents involved with a lot of natural products because they can't be patented. So do you want me to go into the specific studies? Because I have a few that I use every day to talk about for prevention of COVID, and also while you, if you do have the virus.
Yeah,
that sound
absolutely.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
So my first favorite one that most people are not talking about is andrographis. And it just said live video ended. Should I pay attention to that?
Yep, because we just
Okay.
got dropped on Instagram. I'm not sure what.
Instagram's not liking me
Instagram
today.
is
Instagram's
very
not liking any
finicky
of
with
us.
us.
It is.
It
It's
is
actually very
very,
finicky.
it's very nasty sometimes. It gets in some bad moods, and we just have to coax them out of it a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, Instagram is very finicky.
It
No
is.
problem. Do you want me to take a pause until you get it back up?
Yeah, a brief pause. I'm getting it. I'm getting it there. I think I invited you both. If you could just accept that. I don't know what's going on.
Join room.
There's one, and just waiting for Melissa.
Oh.
Yep.
I had to send you a request. It wouldn't let me.
I don't know, man. I accepted.
Right.
No, it's not letting me accept you. Now I'm inviting you. If you're on Facebook and you're just joining, it is Bree and Melissa with On the Steps. We're chatting with Joanne Seeger, who is a wellness advocate, and she's also a nutritionist. And we're talking today about how we can help our students recover from COVID-19. It's a long recovery process for some people, and we want to do everything we can to get people back on their feet, especially our dance students during this crazy time of year when we're asking them to do so much with their bodies. Melissa, I don't know what is going on. It is not letting me.
I should be back.
There you are. Okay.
I am.
Okay. Well, if
Joanne
you
there
just sometimes.
Okay,
oh, nope, I lost Joanne now. What is going on?
I was there. Now
you were there.
Remember, this happened to me the other week when I couldn't get more than however many people in the room.
I did see a couple of my friends say hi.
Hello. Okay, there we are. Hello, we're back. Hi, Facebook.
Okay,
so anyway, we're them back on their feet. So talk about your favorites. Your first one was this long A word. What was the A?
It's called andrographis. It was made famous with COVID because Thailand did a study with thousands of people showing that it would stop the viral replication, which is critical. Everyone talks about the cytokine storm and the complications with the virus, and that's with any virus. I mean, we have so many viruses, and it's that you don't want them to create a storm. You don't want them to create multiple symptoms. And so the andrographis, which has been around, may I add, 5,000 years. So definitely not a newbie. And andrographis.
What is it?
So it's a bitter herb, and it naturally grows in Thailand.
Okay.
It's only grown wild. I mention that because sometimes we abuse different plants and we try to grow them in a factory style, and then you lose the authenticity of the herb or the plant. And so it still grows wild. They are cultivating it enough right now where our needs are being met and it's not being abused. But the andrographis is called the king of bitters. It was famous for so many other reasons, like blood sugar stabilization, liver health, kidney health. And you'll see some of the things that I mentioned that are commonly studied and used for the virus are things that do multi things. It's not just antivirals, they're anti-pathogenic, antibacterial, they help the liver. It's just no coincidence that these are more food. They're multifaceted, so they help every organ, glandular system in the body.
Can you spell that?
andrographis. PHIS, yes. So did I get ANDROGRAPHIS?
IS, got it.
Yeah.
And
So
you
Got it.
said that's grown in Thailand.
yeah, it's grown in Thailand, and that's what made it famous, because they actually used prisoners in Thailand to cultivate it. And they used it on, like I mentioned, thousands of patients, and they noticed the recovery was half, if not sooner, with the ones that use the angiographis. But recently,
Wait, so can you get this at a like a health store?
only a health food store. It's
Okay.
everywhere online, but I
Health food
want
store.
to emphasize that when you use a plant material, what was used in the study is the standardized extract. So you have to make sure there's grapholites, the active ingredient of the angiographis, that you're getting enough. The study that was just recently done that I want to cite, that it stops the inflammation that causes the acute respiratory distress. And this was, now the information I started talking about was almost 2 years ago. So these are updated studies that I was able to pull right off of Google. So if anyone wants to see the studies, that is definitely one of them. It's an anti-inflammatory, antivirus, and also stopping the viral replication study.
Okay.
So that to me, and it's really inexpensive, and bitters are so good for your digestive system, your gallbladder, your liver. So to me, it's a win-win. But the only downside of angiographis is that it can't be used during pregnancy. Okay.
Okay.
So that is
Okay.
the only warning for angiographis, not to be used during pregnancy, or obviously if you're attempting to get pregnant.
Right.
So, but there is a gentleman, he's a pharmacist that I met about 9 years ago, and he worked at the Mayo Clinic for the organ transplant department, and he was in charge of the immunology. And he made a formula with angiographis back 10 years ago. Like, so he was way ahead of his time. And so now that is definitely my number one thing people ask for, to make sure that they have something in their pantry, because the trick is not waiting until you're in the throes of it. It's always about prevention,
Yeah.
or at the first sign. And I've noticed in all the years, many people get bodily distress in the middle of the night. They wake up to use the restroom and something doesn't feel right. Their body feels heavy, their eyes feel off, their temperature starting to change. That's when you want to go into your room and start taking more measures immediately, not waiting to see if you can just fight it throughout the night, because it can replicate very quickly. Okay, so
That's
angiographis
great
is
to know.
one. And I'm trying to mention ones that aren't all over the media, so they sound different. Sambucus. Sambucus is a extract that's from elderberry. Elderberry had some very confusing conversations 2 years ago, which I could not understand, because I've been selling elderberry for over 30 years, and it always seemed to work with all the customers for colds and flus and sore throats, and it's so inexpensive. And especially here locally, people can grow it and make their own preparations of tea safely, and give it to their whole family. And most children love it because it tastes good. Sambucus is from a beautiful little purple berry, so it's pleasant to taste. It has no side effects, and it's antiviral. So once you know it's a virus, unfortunately, antibiotics won't work for viruses. So it's a great thing to do as an antiviral without worries of side effects. So Sambucus is everywhere. You can get it at all the health food stores, the drug stores. I've seen it at the big box stores.
Hey,
So-
Joanne, we have a comment on Facebook from Casey Jones. She said, I heard kids shouldn't use elderberry. Is that a myth?
Yes, so that was the confusion 2 years ago. Now, my children have been using elderberry ever since I stopped breastfeeding. And so my daughter's 12, my son's 18, and they've never used an antibiotic their whole lives. And I pride it on elderberry. And I tell people all the time, no one ever has talked about any issues with children it not being effective that I've seen in an actual study that was, I think it must have been a myth, but if I'm wrong, if you can post something to me or share it with me, So I have firsthand experience probably 1,000 times of using it personally with my children. And also, my 2 stepchildren, so 4 children, lots of elderberry in our home and still is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, thank you, Casey, for that question, because I've heard the same thing. Like, it's been a little bit controversial. Some people I know use it religiously, and some people say,
Stay
it's
away from
not
it,
for
yeah.
kids. So it's a great question, actually.
Yeah, and
then
the companies that are, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the companies that
go.
are making it, they are companies that have huge liability lawyers, and none of them have stopped making it for children. And actually, more children and infant products with elderberry have come out in the last 6 months because of the COVID studies for being antiviral. So I don't think those companies with huge liability lawyers would ever put that out if there was an actual clinical study to say that. So
Dance
we have a
Dynamics on,
comment.
oh, go ahead. I was going to say, are you pulling Dance Dynamics from Instagram?
No, do it.
Dance Dynamics on Instagram, Las Vegas, talking about elderberry. Do you prefer gummies or liquid? And just to piggyback off of that, I know that there's this thing like, oh, you want liquid because it goes straight, through the digestive system. It doesn't have to do this. No, you want gummies. No, you want pills. No, you want, like, how do you, prefer gummies to liquid, or does it matter?
Oh, it matters.
Oh, wow.
I am so thrilled you brought this up. So I might have a little pet peeve about gummies right now, because gummies are everywhere and people are using the gummies in every supplement they use. So they're multi-gummy, they're D gummy, they're zinc gummy, they're elderberry gummy. You start putting all those gummies together, you get about 20, 21 grams of sugar, or you have artificial sweeteners. So 2 other big issues in themselves. So if you can get something that's naturally sweetened, like with monk fruit or something natural, stevia, avoid the sugar and get a clean gummy, yes, please go for it. But liquid usually is less sweetened and still palatable, still enjoyable for the whole family, but without those extra sugar grams. We already have enough sugar in our diets. So
thank you. It does. Thank you.
Okay.
And then can you spell Sambicus, please? So we can, I want to make sure I spell it correctly.
Sambucus, Sambucus. Oh, and I do want to mention, as far as liquid being better than gummy, that's not necessarily true. It all goes through the digestive system, and unless a nutrient, which elderberry cannot be methylated, but if a nutrient is methylated, that makes it where it's more absorbable. So a gummy can have methylated nutrients, or a liquid can. So it all depends on each formula and what the liquid has in it. So, but liquid in general doesn't make it better. So
Dance Dynamics wants to know one more question. What brand do you prefer? Do you have a brand of elderberry that you prefer, or Sambicus, I'm sorry, that you prefer?
Yes. So if it's okay to say, sure. Nature. So usually my shows, we don't mention brand names. So Nature's Answer has the lowest sugar content, and it uses the patented Sambucus extract. So Nature's Answer. It's a liquid. Oh my gosh. So I always keep it handy when I'm talking a lot on my programs, and it comes in a spray too.
a spray.
So
Okay.
yeah, a spray or a big bottle, but it is very hard to get right now. Just so you know, very difficult to get. The little chewables are fine. They're everywhere still, but the liquids are hard to get. So
on Facebook, we have a question: is it elderberry syrup made with honey that kids shouldn't use? I have heard about honey in kids
that's absolutely correct. So honey should not be used for children. There's so many issues with honey. We could do a whole podcast on honey because there's so many problems with the honey market right now. But yes, so when you want the Sambucus, you want no other ingredients, no other sugar, fillers, nothing else. So does that help?
Yes.
So I do want to talk about another one that everyone should know about, I hope, is D3. So D3 is a fat-soluble nutrient, and some people get confused with it because it's powerful like a hormone. So it's not technically a vitamin, but they're calling it almost like a substance because they don't really know the narrative behind it. Every year they're learning more about vitamin D3. So I'm going to call it a vitamin just for the sake of argument, because that's what we've been calling it for 100 years. But it's more like a hormone, but not like vitamin A, E, and K, which are also fat-soluble nutrients, those can be easily stored. Where the D, because it has more hormone-like actions, it's wonderful because you don't have to worry about the toxicity that we thought we had to worry about 20 years ago, where doctors were like, no, 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 don't take it. Now doctors are suggesting 20,000 IUs, 50,000 IUs if your blood levels are low. And what's great about D3, you can easily test it with most blood test drawers. It's usually included in insurance plans or very affordable if you don't have insurance. So I definitely suggest you getting your D3 levels tested. And that's why I mentioned this one last, because out of most COVID cases, 90% of people are D3 deficient.
I've heard this, yeah.
Right. And now here's the coolest part. If you worry about taking vitamins, you don't like swallowing pills, and D3 does come in gummies and chewables and liquids. You know, I love the liquid. My kids love the liquid. They think it's dessert. So if you don't want to do a pill, you can get it from food still. Some nutrients are hard to get from food, but D3 can come from food. And the best place to get D3 is the sun. Okay. And now my common sense tells me that's why there's so many issues with deficiency. Not only are people sometimes fearful of the sun, but we all work usually during the hours that the sun produces the most D3 through our skin, which is between 10 and 2. And I don't know about you guys, but growing up, I was told never go in the sun between 10 and 2. And I also told everyone that I came in contact with, yes, early morning sun walk, late day sun, don't go in the middle of the day. But to get the amounts of D3 that you really need, you need 20 minutes between 10 and 2 without sunblock and exposed skin. So, you know, I always say, if you're at the luxury of having no neighbors, you know, go out on the patio, naked, and there you go. But D3 is phenomenal. The studies are endless, but for the COVID conversation, we can just say antiviral, anti-inflammatory, stops virus replication, and the hospitals that are using it in their urgent care situation, they literally are 60% recovery, 60% less recovery time needed with the D3 administered at first intake.
Wow.
So I think that's incredible. I mean, I could go on and on about what D3 does for us, bone density, but it's immunomodulator, which means it talks the immune system, but it doesn't overstimulate for autoimmune disease. So like you were mentioning with autoimmune, sometimes there's a lot of fear, like, well, I don't want to do too much for my immune system because I don't want my condition to worsen. Where D3, because it acts like a hormone, they're showing that the autoimmune patients are not having an issue.
That's right.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. This is all so helpful. I'm really gonna run out this weekend and stock up on some of the stuff.
Okay. And D3 is super inexpensive,
so for
by
those
the
of
way.
you thank you. And I know people are going to ask, but is there a brand of vitamin of the D3 that you recommend for that one as well?
There are many good brands of D3, and there's only a few manufacturers in our country. So I would say just look at other ingredients on the backside of whatever vitamin bottle you're looking at and make sure there's nothing else added. That's what's important. Now, I mentioned my family loves a liquid. It's by Barleans, which specializes in liquids. So it only has stevia, no artificial coloring, no artificial sweeteners, and it's absolutely delicious. So when you're at the end of the meal and you want to give them some D3, they welcome it, and you don't have to chase them around the house with flavoring.
Right.
Okay, that'll be good for my 5 and 8-year-old for sure.
Oh,
Thank
perfect.
you.
They will love
it. Yeah, if you're just joining, I am Bree with Apollo here with my dear friend and co-host Melissa McDaniel. We're chatting today with Joanne Seeger, who is a nutritionist and a wellness advocate. And we're talking about how we can, as educators, help our students and our children recover from COVID-19, we're asking a lot of their bodies, especially during this time of the year. We're getting ready for competitions, conventions, and as they start coming back and recovering from this, it's not as simple as one would think. You're not just done with COVID, is my understanding. So this next segment, Joanne, I know we kind of got behind, so I know we need to go quickly through this next segment, or as quickly as we can, but the recovery process looks different for everybody. When people are coming back from this, talk about what we've talked a lot about prevention, but what can we do when it comes to recovery? And as educators, frankly, when are we asking too much of our students who are just
as they
coming back
recover.
from this recovery? How much is too much?
That is the most difficult part of the conversation.
Yeah.
When people are sick, we tend to use comfort foods to feel better. And sometimes people are advocating the worst comfort foods, milkshakes because the throat might hurt,
Right.
or convenience foods because you obviously don't want to be shopping and cooking at that time. So the conversations I have to have are very difficult because I try not to use judgment or lecturing, but on the behind everything comes your nutrition and your food.
Okay.
If you are using all those comfort foods, mac and cheese, milkshakes, sugary processed foods, dairy foods, then your recovery will be longer because your body doesn't have the antioxidants it needs. Now, usually when people are sick, they're not craving a big light leafy green salad or smoothie. So that's the problem. So, for instance, my husband got COVID. Okay, so where he might have craved sweets, because I always think people with viruses, they crave sweets. It's the craziest thing. So I had him do a lot of broths. I had him do bone broth. I had him do vegetable broth, vegetable soups, and sometimes they're kicking and screaming. But if you do that and get them outside, the post-viral syndrome, which is the syndrome that happens that creates that long recovery, that heavy fatigue, will lessen because your body will be flooded with antioxidants. And if it's a person that's never really consumed vegetables and the idea of increasing them, especially when they're not well, then you can, hide it into a smoothie with lots of fresh berries that also provide antioxidants and polyphenols. These things really do matter. It can't only come from a bottle. I mean, even though I sell thousands of bottles, the truth is nutrition is the first step. So you have to make sure they have a variety of colors in their diet. They're avoiding refined foods, especially dairy and sugar. It's critical. You will definitely help your recovery time, and especially the fatigue, the more antioxidants that flood your body. And the antioxidants flood the body to fight oxidative stress. And that's what the virus creates. And I thought I could give you an analogy that maybe your dancer friends can understand. When someone's training, I used to do triathlons long time ago, past life, right? But I know
I never
friends,
did them, Joanne.
Okay,
so.
well, I still can't
Right?
believe that was me, but I'm
Right?
like,
Yeah.
yes, it was me. But when we were training, okay, and some of my friends that were elite athletes, they would train for hours a day. And then came the triathlon day. They had tons of energy. They felt like perfect tens. But after the race, they were wiped out. Like for a week, they barely wanted to go to work. They were tired. They didn't want to leave their homes. They were sore. And so post-viral syndrome reminds me a lot of those moments where my friends would call me and say, Joanne, oh my God, that race kicked my butt. I just can't get back into the swing of things. So what is usually suggested for that, believe it or not, is to check your sleep patterns, because sometimes when you're sick, you tend to be in bed all day long. So whether you're streaming Netflix or you're, scrolling your Facebook or Instagram, whatever you're doing, you're always laying down indoors. Okay. And then when it comes to sleep time, your circadian rhythm, it sees the darkness come, but it doesn't know what you're doing. Wait, you've been in bed all day. I don't know when sleep time is. So the disruptive sleep patterns create that post-viral syndrome muscular fatigue so badly. So my suggestion, and I have used it with many people, and it usually works beautifully, is get a lawn chair, go outdoors while you have the virus or even after to help the post-viral syndrome, and get as much sunlight during those hours, because then the body stores that melatonin, which is phenomenal. It's inside of every cell that vamps up the immune system. And when those melatonin stores are coming, then when it comes to nighttime, it knows that it's time to rest and recover. If you don't have that deep rest at night, the body can't recover like it's meant to. And all the Netflix, smart TV, all this social media, it's all giving us blue light, which depletes our melatonin. So I would definitely suggest like blue light filtering glasses, which you can find everywhere and anywhere now, super affordably, because the blue light, our melatonin deficiencies used to occur at 35 and older. Now it's like 8 years old of these children are already melatonin deficient, and you only need a tiny bit to really be effective. And so again, the sun will give it to us. You don't have to buy it in a supplement, but if you can't get sun for any reasons, other reasons, then definitely look into a supplement for that.
We have Delisa Macklin on Facebook. Thank you for watching, Delisa. She said, fascinating. This is what I made Alyssa do. I'm assuming Alyssa is a child of yours, your daughter, yes. And then she said, yes, 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 to your explanation about all of that. This is so helpful. Thank you so much. And I know we have one more question before we get to homework, and I want to make sure we get to cover all of this, Melissa. So why don't you take us to the last question, and then we can kind of wrap up with resources.
So I'm sure you work with athletes and performance artists, and getting back to full capacity is so very important. It's important to them. So we've talked about sleep and nutrition a lot, and that's one of the things that we had to cover a little bit later. But are there natural remedies that can support athletes specifically in recovering? Because it may be a little different than, guy on the couch or but athletes.
Okay, yes. So with athletes, the two biggest nutrients they need is zinc and magnesium. Okay, zinc and magnesium, two things that are easily to be verified on blood tests. So if you want to check your levels, if you want to be cautionary, that sounds great. You can check your levels. But zinc and magnesium are a little difficult to get with our food, especially magnesium and zinc. I mean, oysters, I'm not a big fan, but if you really love oysters, you're all set. But it's really hard to get those two nutrients now. But for athletes, especially ones that are still in training, like they haven't lost their training exercises, then they are really needing more magnesium. Some people only think of magnesium when they go to, say, a teacher, and they're like, oh, I keep getting leg cramps at night. I'm spasming. And then we think of magnesium, but it's really needed now preventively. So that way your body, magnesium does 300 different important functions, and immunity, because it works to carry the zinc into the cells. So every nutrient, remember, is connected. Every single vitamin mineral is one family with the same mission to make our bodies miraculous, super strong, to recover and fight things. And as well as zinc and magnesium, but one other huge one for athletes is B vitamins. Now with B vitamins, you have to be particular about what you buy. So do not buy synthetic B vitamins. So if they look like huge horse pills and you can smell them a mile away, that's usually synthetic B vitamins. And your children will never want to take it because they'll smell so bad. They'll make their urine look terrible. But natural coenzymated B vitamins, many brands make it. If it says coenzymated, it's probably part of, it's a good company that methylates each B. Methylation just means it's highly absorbable, even more than most liquids. And just because something is an IV or sublingual does not guarantee that it's more absorbable or that it's methylated. So all you have to do is look at each B vitamin and make sure it says the word methyl something.
Methyl anything. Okay.
Methyl, yeah, because there's numerous B vitamins, but like the B1, the B3 are the two most critical for athletes. But you never want to isolate B vitamins. In nature, all the B vitamins are always together.
Okay.
So always buy B complex. If you want to do it, like if you're getting neuropathy or other issues, you can always isolate, but it's really important to always use things in food if it's available. Next step is as close to food as possible.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. This is so helpful. This
Oh my
has really
gosh.
been so great.
And I only
I've got to
touched
go
on a
back and
touch of my notes.
watch this again.
Oh my gosh.
And
We could go.
Can I talk about one more thing?
Sure.
Okay, so really quick, cortisol, and I'm sure the dancers are aware of what cortisol is, but for all the listeners and viewers, cortisol spikes up when you have stress. And so I really suggest from the bottom of my heart, be careful about how much negativity you're bringing into your world from any source, because if you raise cortisol, your immune system is going to go down with that. So I use breath work, I use meditation, I use journaling. I sometimes in the middle of the day just go outside and just take some deep breaths of fresh air. Use whatever you have to do to keep your stress levels low, which means your cortisol low. But negativity, fear, all those things, worry, anxiety will all lead to higher cortisol, which brings immune system down. So like I mentioned, nutrition and lifestyle are much more important than taking a pill. So really important.
That's a great point. A lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to keep my same lifestyle and I'm going to go pop these supplements.
Yeah, you can't do it, especially with type A's that are go, and just on nonstop. You just really have to be careful of keeping cortisol down.
I know we have to get to homework, but the one thing I really want you to address is the time, because I want dance educators to hear this. Just because somebody appears to be done with it or through the worst of it, what is the length of time that you're seeing ranging in the recovery process?
Well, if I'm working with them, I love to say less than usual, but it could be 3 months to 6 months. So to treat your body well and to take the nutrients, I was very conservative about the nutrients I mentioned. So to do these things for the rest of your life is still okay. Because when you're dancing, you're doing a lot of activity. So you should always give your body lots of antioxidants, lots of nutrients, lots of rest. And of course, lots of water. I didn't even get to mention water yet, and sunshine. So these are things that if used every day, of course, your recovery will lessen, but you'll also be preventing, if, like you mentioned, new variants come along, you're also preventing the next variant from getting you. So
thank you. Thank you. So educators, they really need to just keep it in perspective that just because they're back and just because they can perform doesn't mean they're going to be at their peak. And it's important that we remember that with them. So yeah,
absolutely. Well, Joanne, I know it's your first time with us and we have to have you back.
Such a great conversation.
Yeah, we can drill on one thing for an hour. But we like to give viewers homework. So our homework is something that you can do, one thing that you want our viewers to do between now and next Friday when we come back. So what's their first starting step?
Oh my gosh, I love that you're asking me this. This is with all my coaching clients, this is their first homework. So I'll give it to all your listeners and viewers. So breath work, which means it's called the box method or also the Navy SEAL method, where you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you release for 4, and then you hold for 4. So it's called the box breathing method, and you only use your nose, no mouth breathing. And if you can do that outside in any nature area, so on the grass, on soil, at the beach, park, just where you're breathing in outdoor air, if you could do that for 5 minutes each day, it's wonderful how calm your body gets and how good you feel.
You will not know this, but we have done several episodes on breath work. So our viewers are familiar with this. We have been learning. We've been working on it.
I love it. Okay, then let's tell them to do 9 minutes then.
Okay, 9 minutes.
So they should already be down. So 9 minutes.
I love it.
And you can go back and watch the episodes on breath work that we have done. So
I will do that.
You can pick that up as well.
That's great.
LDWG Dancer wants to know if we plan to match. Melissa, no,
We
but
did
we have
not.
we have been doing that a lot lately, and it is unplanned. So that shows you that we are in sync.
Yes.
We did not plan that.
Yes. We did not plan it, but we are now synced up, and we're gonna keep going. I think it's the bright colors. We're like winter. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes,
Please,
we're
please,
over
please.
it.
Yeah, well, I have
That's the
some
winter.
pink in my shirt. There's a
Yeah.
little pink there.
So you're matching with us too. Yes, you absolutely are. Thank you so much, Linda, Linda. Thank you so much, Joanne. I'm thinking about Linda, who just was the she
It's
was
all
a former
good.
guest
I can't
on us.
believe you
So
could read and talk at the same time. That's amazing.
Thank you so much for being with us today. If you you definitely should be doing this homework moving forward. We also have some other homework supplemental things for you. Take the steps initiative. It's a free module that's available at the Apollo Performance. Bree is going to put that in the chat right now as soon as I can get myself together and talk. It has a number of modules on sex abuse and prevention, nutrition, psychology, racism and equity, gender inclusion, you name it, and it is all free. So please take advantage of that learning. There, our friends at YPAD have certifications that are absolutely amazing and are being used throughout the industry as industry standard. As an Apollo Insider, you are getting 25% off with the code Apollo25. So please go to the YPAD site and see what certifications they have and take advantage of that code. Joanne, how can people reach you? What are your social media handles and your email?
All right, so it's joannesnutritionworld.com is our website. And Joanne's Nutrition World is the Instagram as well as Facebook.
Okay.
And so I guess that's my handle. Boy,
Getting
my kids are going to be so
savvy.
impressed by this. Oh, so not. I have my son's fiance is the one that helps me with all my social media. So honestly, I never really touch it.
Oh, well, we're going to get you some followers because I think everybody is really enthralled with what you had to say today.
Well, thank you so much. I love being here. You guys have great energy and
thank you.
Yeah, love it.
We love being here too. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who joined. For everybody who may be watching this back, remember you can sign up and register to get this episode and all of our episodes emailed directly to you every single week. We're here every weekend, Fridays at 2 p.m. You can also watch the full episode live on Apollo's Facebook at Apollo Performance. So yeah, I hope you register. We have lots of great information every week. Next week, we are January 28th, the last Friday of January, which is bananas. But we are talking with Dr. Jeff Russell. We're having him back, who we love. Hi, Dr. Russell. What is new with dance medicine and science in 2022? And what should our top 3 priorities be for dancers? So join us next Friday right back here at 2 p.m. Eastern, either on Zoom, Instagram, or Facebook. We'd love to see you, and let us know if there's anything you want to know about this season. We're booking for the summer already, so we definitely want to hear from you, and hope you join us again week after week. We love seeing you all. We love being on this journey. Melissa, thank you as always. Joanne, thank you for your energy, your light, your spirit, your information. You are a wealth of knowledge, and we really look forward to having you back. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Everybody, happy Friday and have a wonderful weekend. Until next week, we hope you continue your journey beyond the steps.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
All good.